Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming back at you with another Wargaming and miniature video. In this video, we're going to be painting this dragon tortoise from Reaper Bones. This is a plastic model using the Reaper Bones material. I'm going to go ahead and prime it, and there you go. You see I primed it with a dark gray, a gray primer, and I have it based on a Litco, no, and it's not a Litco base, it's a fun wood base, and I'm going to paint it with this light green. It's actually called grass green. This grass green, and once I paint it with that, then we'll go over with from other colors, and then I'll do a wash. And I have to get this figure painted early today because I started this project at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'm sorry, 12 o'clock this afternoon. 12:30 is when I got the package in, actually. And I started painting, gluing it together and primed it, and now it's about 1 o'clock, and I have to get this done by 3 o'clock because of my DnD game that I have this evening. They're actually fighting a dragon turtle, and I figured, you know, what better opportunity than to actually have one in the match, in the game, for them to play with. So I grabbed me a zero brush here, and I mixed up some grass green and some water. Might have made it just a little bit too thin, but it actually wound up being pretty good. Need to change my glasses. I was wearing my normal everyday glasses, but when I paint, I like to wear my Coke bottle glasses, the ones that are actually super extra thick. What it does is it allows it to magnify for me. Alright, so we're going to paint this super light green all over the dragon turtle, where the soft scaly flesh would be. I'm not going to paint the shell or any carapace pieces that are on his arms or legs or head. What I'm painting his soft turtley flesh with the light green. Alright, just fast forward a little bit so you can see my progress. Just paint, and now I'm treating this a lot like I would normally treat any of my other humanoid figures, as if it was flesh. And like the carapace and things like that, I'm treating that like armor. So as you know, I like to do the flesh first, and then and I don't really concern myself too much if there's a little over painting and I paint the carapace or the armored shell or anything, because I haven't painted that yet. I'm going to go back later and paint that. Alright, let's fast forward a little bit. Alright, now what we're going to do is pull out some rusted pipe, which is a brown. It's kind of it's a normal brown, but it's a little bit lighter brown. I'm going to go ahead and put a few drops into the palette, and I'm going to add some water. We're going to mix that up, and then we're going to paint the body of the shell. Okay, there you go. There's a little bit of water. I'm going to stir that up, and then we can go ahead and get to painting the shell. I know the camera's not in a great angle for you to see all of this. My apologies, but it tends to be in my way in a certain spot, but I'm going to do my best. I think I'm going to move the camera angle later in the video so you can actually see better, and I apologize that I'm halfway off the camera. Okay, so we're painting the rusted pipe. I know rusted pipe, you would think it would be kind of a reddish color, but it's not. It's actually just a very light brown. Alright, and so we're going to do the top and bottom of the main shell with the rusted pipe, and I'm painting pretty much every little piece of it. So let's advance a little bit. Alright, and this is where I think I remembered to move the camera so you can actually, or move the model so you can actually see me doing the painting. So we're putting the rusted pipe on the underneath, and this is also where, because it's not the green base is already on, and this is on top of the green, so I have to be careful not to overpaint and get on the green fleshy parts of the dragon turtle. Okay, so we're going to continue on with this. Let me go ahead and fast forward this video a little bit. Alright, now I'm cleaning the brush off a little bit. I just wanted to show you my progress. You can't see any of that. There we go. And there's my progress so far. We got the green. There we go. I'm moving the camera for future. There you go. So we got the green and we got the brown. I went ahead and grabbed some figures. I've got some 28mm Warlord Games Macedonian phalangites like directly in front of me on a shelf. And so I felt it would be good because it is a large model. This tortoise is a fairly big model. I pull out these standard human-sized figures to kind of give you a comparison to see exactly how big this thing is. And then I try to get a good angle so you can see exactly how the models would stack up to this thing. Look how big that is. That's a pretty big model. And it's not expensive. I think I got it at Miniature Market for like maybe $6, $6.50 or something like that. So it's actually a really good priced model. Okay, let me put this down and we'll get going on the next color. Alright, we went ahead and mixed up some antique white, and then we're going to paint this on the exposed carapace armor pieces that, like the bony, dragon scaly pieces that are on the arms and legs and tail. Okay, and so again, because it's not the flesh, I am trying to be very careful not to get it on the green. Okay, and you're going to see this on both arms, the claws, the horns, the tail, and I'm not too worried about leaving any kind of shadowing or any kind of. I'm just basically covering it completely because what I'm going to do is hit it up with a wash again. I'm going to wash the entire model with a sepia, and what that's going to do is it's going to darken all the shadows, so it's going to highlight everything. That looks really good. Now we're going to continue on, and let me fast forward this and you can see all the pieces. I got most of the bone antique white on there, and now I'm just going to touch up the little horns on the top of his head just to make that look good. You can see how it's all the bone protrusions on the tail spikes, the arms, behind the head. You can see the. Now I don't paint the teeth yet, or the single fang that's in the center of his mouth. I don't paint that until after I get the red painted for the tongue and everything. So I'm just examining the model right now up close just to see if I missed anything. And I did miss something in the bottom of the tail, so I'm going to go ahead and touch that up. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and clean the brush and move on to the next color. Alright, right here I pull out the Vallejo flat red. Mix it up a little bit with a drop of water. I like to thin it out just a little bit. And then we're going to paint the inside of the mouth with this Vallejo flat red. Because it's a smaller area and don't want to make a huge mistake, I went and grabbed just a slightly smaller brush. This is probably a 5.0. Now, there's going to be the sides of the mouth, the ridge, the upper mouth, the bottom of the mouth. I even paint the teeth red because at the teeth go into the gums, so technically I'm painting the gums, but I get it on the teeth, but because that's okay, because I was planning on painting the teeth after I did the red. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on painting this. Now I do paint the sides of the mouth as well, even the external portions of the side of the mouth. You can kind of see the little, what do they call that, the little fleshy part that connects the jaw to the skull. And right there I'm painting the teeth because I am needing to, for the gums to be painted, or wanting the gums to be painted. Examining everything. Everything looks good. Maybe a touch up here and there, especially on the tongue. I think I do a second layer on the tongue just to make it. And there we go. I'm painting right along the edge where the teeth are at and the gum is at. It's okay to get on the teeth because I haven't painted the teeth yet. And that's the forward claw, tongue. Alright, so let's turn this off. Be right back. Okay, so now we got some folk art pure black. Now this black, I'm stirring it up a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to paint the toenails and the claws on his fingertips with the pure black. Yeah, it almost looks like elephant type feet, but I guess that's a turtle foot. Paying particular close attention not to get it on the green. Even though it's okay to get right up to the edge of the green, or maybe even not even get close to the green, because once I put the wash on, that should fill any gaps between colors. Alright, let me finish up the black. Be right back. Now here what we're doing is we're doing the claw, tips of the fingers. Because they have the little fingernail claws. I've noticed my hand is like super shaky. So I try to prop my hand up against the table, as well as the paintbrush hand is also resting on the table to keep the shaking to a minimum. I'm shaking because I think I'm a little nervous because I know I've got to really hurry to get this painted in time for me to leave for the D&D game. Alright, when I get the claws done, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm picking up the model to kind of show you the progress we've made on the toes, the claws, the mouth. Now, of course, the teeth and the eyes haven't been done yet. You got the rusted pipe for the shell. All right, go ahead and mix up some sepia. What I do is I take the Vallejo sepia wash and I put like 4 or 5 drops in my palette, and then I add about 3 drops of water. But because the water droplets are like twice as big, it's almost a 1-to-1 ratio. And then what I do is I grab my big huge brush that I'm using. It's my rapid brush basically, and then I just you always want to use the biggest brush for the job you're trying to do. And because I'm just trying to put wash over the entire model 100%, the bigger brush the better. But I just didn't want to use like a paintbrush, you know, like a wall paintbrush. Alright, so what we're just going to do is we're just going to coat. You notice how I'm coating like every single thing. And you can see on the shell how it's darkening it up a little bit. And you can also see how the sepia wash is getting down into the cracks. And I'm also going to do that on the green and the bone. So, or the antique white. Now, when you're painting on the antique white, it does darken it up a little bit, as well as the green. And well, it's going to darken any color up, actually. And then it'll get down into all the cracks. And let me go ahead and get this whole thing washed, and I'll be right back. Alright, we're almost done here with the wash. I actually made 2 groups of washing, or two bins, or whatever you call it, 2 mixtures. I did one, and then this is my second one. And we finally got the entire thing washed. What we're going to do is we're going to set that down, let it dry, and then I'm going to take it outside, and I'm going to actually spray it with a matte varnish, and then we'll bring it back in and continue the process. Alright, I got ahead and sprayed it, and now this is what it looks like having been sprayed with a matte varnish. What I need to do now is maybe paint the base and the teeth and the eyes, and then I'll be pretty much done. But this base I need to paint, because painting the base, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it blue, because it's supposed to be a water creature, and it is coming in my game. Actually, it's coming out of a lake, so painting it blue will kind of match with the situation that it's in. But I think that a dragon turtle should be on a blue base or a beach-like base or some kind of base like that. Now it can go on land, but it lives in the water, so that's what I thought about. So now I'm painting on a plywood. This is from Litco Aero. No, it's not. It's not. I keep saying it's Litco, but it's not a Litco base. This is actually a fun wood base from Hobby Lobby. This was a base where you get like 4 of these pieces of wood for like $2. And I bought it originally for like blast markers for bolt action, but it works perfect for the for basing huge models. And I said, okay, cool. Let me just grab one and glue it on there. It's perfecto. Okay, so now I'm just trying to get in between the toenails, and I'm just painting the entire base blue. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. All right, now let's show you what the base looks like blue, and you can kind of see how that really makes a difference. By painting the base blue, it brings out all the contrast and all the other colors on this model. I mean, what do you think? I like it a lot. So now what we got to do is some final touches, and then we'll be pretty much done. Giving you a view from all different angles, even though the mouth and the eyes haven't been done yet. Alright, let's finish it up. Alright, at this point what we're going to do is we're going to paint the teeth with the antique white that I still had mixed. I'm also going to paint the main hook, what do they call it, fang, I guess, right there at the front of the mouth. And then we're also going to paint the eyes. You're going to have to get the top row of teeth as well as the bottom row of teeth. Now I'm just painting lightly over this, almost like dry brushing, but with a wet brush, just so that the paint hits the teeth and not so much the gums. You see that? It looks good so far. Now I got to do the bottom as well. Alright, let's get these teeth done. I'll be right back. Now we're just going to touch the eye. I'm just going to get a short drop on this really fine tip brush, maybe a 3-0, and we're just going to put a little line in the eye. Just like that. That's all we need, just a little bitty line. We're going to do it on both sides. And remember, when it comes to painting eyes, less is more. What I mean by that is, if I made the eyes way too thick, then they would stand out more than everything else in the model. Eyes, believe it or not, your eyes have a tendency to be attracted to the model's eyes, get eye-to-eye contact. And if those eyes are too big, they will dominate the model and they will cause it to look creepy. It'll look anime looking. Okay, so look at those eyes. That looks pretty good, don't you think? Just little eyes. Now, if you wanted to, you could put like a little black dot in them or black line. I didn't think I needed to do that. Alright, this model is coming right along. You know, it's starting to look really good. Now, there is some highlighting that needs to be done on the bones and the fleshy parts, but I don't have time for that. This is what I'm going to actually take to the D&D game with me right here. I'm going to do a dull coat on it as well, and we'll move on. I'm going to adjust the focus on my camera so you can get a good close-up view of this model, and then we'll do the money shot where you get to see the entire model. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so you can kind of see how the sepia darkened up the cracks and everything. Whoa, what's going on with my camera here? You can see the claws. You can see the what do you call it? The fangs. You can see the, man, I'm bumping the camera. I'm holding the camera in my hand, I think. Giving you a slow turn. What do you think? Do you think that's a good looking model? I think so. I just need to do just a little bit more maybe some highlighting, some cleanup of some of the places where the sepia pooled up or whatever. But other than that, I think it's really good. Like you can see a couple of spots it's not dry yet, but once it dries, I take it to the D&D game and everything's good. Alright guys, thanks for coming out and checking out this video of my speed painting of this dragon turtle. It took me like 2 hours to do this. Alright guys, well, if you like this video, please like it. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. And again, I'll see you next time.